If I
Yeah.
could, I'd get a tattoo. Ideas are great. Execution is everything. If I focus on the community living aspect of it, that I, as an operator, I can use that as a strategy to make my co-living business and real estate investments more profitable.
Absolutely. I just want you to know that you have a place here as long as you want. If you can find, yeah, if this ends up being calm and safe and comfortable for you, like I want you to build something amazing for yourself.
I'm so excited for this series. I am welcoming my friend Laura Selden. She is one of my favorite hosts, co-living operators, and investors out of Kansas City, Missouri. So let's jump in. This series, we're going to talk about how hospitality does exist and how that is a formula for success in co-living. So let's just jump in. I'm going to give you a chance. Give me a quick background of why you chose co-living. Dive into it, Laura. Why?
Yeah, that's a really big question. I think it's unique for everyone. But for me, it started with the basics of wanting to get into real estate. I spent a bunch of years looking at all of the different possibilities that I could use as a strategy. And when I came across co-living, there was something that just clicked for me. So I'm very analytical. The numbers were not numbering for all the other strategies. And I had a very big full-time job, and I was working 60 hours a week, things like that, and I was not trying to create just another job that would just make me a few $100s every month, and in 30 years maybe I would have something. I was already doing that with my retirement and my 401k and things like that. So when I came across co-living, from an analytical mindset and like a financial mindset, it really clicked for me. And then I also am very passionate about trying to find something that I really care about, so also connected in that way with co-living. The possibility of providing something that is actually really needed for people was so appealing to me personally on a really personal level. My corporate career had nothing to do with helping people. I loved that possibility. And when I started digging more and more into it, the realities of it being able to benefit me financially, but also help people, I was like, yeah, I really have to learn more about this. Is it too good to be true? Is this real? And are people doing this well? Sounds a little crazy, but yeah, I found out people are. Once I had enough information to feel like this was not a fad or something like that, I was like, okay, this is for me. Absolutely.
Okay, that's the idea.
Yeah.
You yourself had to go through a lot of humps and bumps and get over your own, fears and things to become an investor.
Yeah.
You've done that, right? And that's a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
I want to focus on what we're trying to solve for here. You and I are very similar. We got into real estate investing with a purpose.
Yeah.
And then we found co-living and community living and shared housing. And then we realized that in itself is such a varied marketplace. I can go from just selling commodities in just a little room,
right?
Or I can go into a different version of it. I myself kind of lean more into the European version of it, that communities are real. And the members that we serve and the tenants that we serve, there's something to set around. If I focus on the community living aspect of it, that I, as an operator, I can use that as a strategy to make my co-living business and real estate investments more profitable.
Absolutely.
Do you believe in that? And then how do you take that idea and then execute it? Because, if I could, I'd get a tattoo. Ideas are great. Execution is everything.
Absolutely.
We know that. So we're business owners, and we don't make these decisions because they're whimsical. They have to actually make financial decisions and financial inputs to why I want to do it this way. This is a strategy, and then we build tactics to do it. Why did you choose this strategy?
Of doing hospitality?
Of hospitality-focused living.
Absolutely. There's multiple reasons. It speaks more to just my personality. I used to do like VRBO, people call it Verbo. That was just kind of the way that I went about it. I really enjoyed creating the possibility for people to have really wonderful experiences, and things like that. So that was kind of what drove me. I lead with my heart. So it's like, I want something that's interesting to me. I want something that's human, that's around human experiences. So yeah, I also am just driven by, so I do co-living for women, and I've just always been driven by helping other women and connecting with other women in whatever way I can. It's just always been so rewarding for me. I love meeting and connecting with really incredible women. And just the reality of women not having a lot of options for affordable housing just really, it just is really something that I'm passionate about. And so the possibility that I could actually help other women provide a stable environment for them to excel. I just love to see other women win. So yeah, I really love the idea of that. And it's not super, tangible and related to the money aspect, but it gives me so much energy and so much passion, that it drives me through all the craziness as well. Yeah, because there's a lot, there's a lot involved, but I love what I do as well.
I find that so interesting because we follow the law.
Mhm.
It's not just for women, but you
Right,
have found by default that the women they found your property and your community,
right.
and this is kind of the base that you're renting to,
Mhm,
right? So the customers have actually found you and then opted into you.
mhm.
How do you take that idea and then communicate that to somebody who originally arrives at your door
Yeah.
and thinks that I just want to rent a cheaper room? How do you help make that transition from I come for the price,
Yeah.
but oh my God, I stay for the experience?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, especially in my market, and while co-living is still new, they're absolutely coming for the price. I mean, I lead with the concept as well, so they have to. I mean, it's not like a surprise, but they're definitely really comfortable with the price. I just try to lead with no pressure. I try to lead with, just give them all the information possible and try to explain the intangibles as well. How, my house it's calm, it's safe, it's quiet, and I lead with, like, the expectations and the kind of
Mm,
the structure that I have around my property. I'm not a stickler for a lot of things, but everyone in my home has to be respectful and kind and communicative, and those are non-negotiables. And so I can tell a person coming in that that's what they need to provide, but that's also what they should expect from others. And I'm trying to frame it as, if they're not getting that, that is not what is intended, and that's a problem. So I start really conceptual and I try to frame it in that way as well. And then I try to tell them about, like, the day-to-day experience, that I think about all of the things that they might be worried about, and I just kind of try to explain how, even in the words of some of my house members, how they've explained it to me, how it's really not that big of a deal. All the worries about noise or, getting in other people's way or things like that. So I also just talk about all those little details that there's not, like, all this friction and things like that. It's a very smooth living experience as well.
how do you create the culture in the beginning? Because if nobody's in the house
Yeah.
and then you have this idea of what that experience is going to be, how do
Yeah.
you take your idea and
Yeah.
then imprint it into people who get buy-in? Because I thought that was gonna be the biggest challenge, is
Mhm.
how do I communicate this idea of what I'm expecting to people who are coming in,
Yeah.
and that wasn't the expectation they got.
Yeah.
So how do
Yeah.
you overcome that? How do you create culture out of thin air?
I think it starts with, spending some extra time on, the people that are potentially coming into your house. So, they call it screening, but I think there's another word for it, because I'm not just checking their credit score and et cetera. I'd like to know who they are as a person. I need to know if they understand the concept and if they believe in it. Um, I need it to be a mutual fit. So I need them to really love it. If they don't love it, I don't want them in my house. And that
They
might
don't wanna be in your house. That's
right,
the part that's really interesting.
right. And that might sound weird, but I'm not just accepting anyone,
Uh-huh.
and just winging it. I'm making sure that they think this concept is great, and they're willing to also participate in the concept. Um, and that they see it as at least some sort of positive way. You know what I mean?
That's so interesting because I believe in that as well, because I found success in that in my world, is that I do more work in the beginning to
Yeah,
get buy-in,
exactly. Yeah,
because communities are created by the members in the community,
yeah.
and we say screening as the baseline. Do you qualify to be in the house? Can you
Right,
financially afford it? And are you a
right.
personality fit? Like, do you have the income? Do you have the
Exactly.
background check? That's screening. I
Yeah,
think community building comes into this idea of like, are you a cultural fit
right.
for the house?
And it's, it's never like, you talk about following the law. It's never like, oh no, you cannot rent. It's a very, serious conversation, and posing it as like, this has to be mutually beneficial. So you're getting them to, like, they're opting out if they're not buying in. And that's the way that I propose it. Like, it's not like a, you're not allowed to live here type of thing. It is, this doesn't sound like the best thing for you. And I do genuinely mean that. So I lead with, is this going to benefit them? Obviously, it's going to benefit me if I find a great person in my home, but I lead with if it's going to benefit them and whether they need to, look elsewhere or not. But usually, because I spend a lot of extra time on the people that might be coming into my house. But there's some really easy ways. So it's not like I'm doing this with 100 people. There's some really easy ways, to kind of feel people out and make sure it's a fit. You start with all of the things that you can write down on paper, the things that you can message in a message. And if everything's still great, at that point, there's a really good chance that this person, even though they're still really skeptical and nervous, that I'm gonna be able to maybe help them understand this concept, and they're gonna be into it. And so I can give you like a really specific example of that.
More expenses, the more experiences, the more stories, the better.
Okay. Yeah. So I had my first move out.
Is this the coffee story?
Yeah.
Oh, tell this. Oh, this is such a good one. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Well, it was great. I had my first move out. I just let this girl stay that needed a place for like 2.5 months. She was really desperate. She was just doing her physical therapy clinicals. And I was like, okay, so it felt like no time at all. And I was like, oh, she's already leaving. Okay, so I got to find someone, long story short, I did all of the qualifying. I found a really good candidate. Originally, I got her from actually a flyer that I sent out a long time ago. We can talk about that as well. And so I got her through a referral, essentially, which is amazing. Like an in-person, or I mean, she sent me an email, but like a real person that had my flyer. Anyway, that was very cool. Yeah. So anyway, we went through all the basics, and I'm like, this person, this is a good fit. But they were super nervous. So this is a woman who is a teacher. So she already lives a very stressful life. She doesn't make a lot. That's just the reality. I decided, I do a tour with everyone. It just is kind of part of what I do. It's extremely helpful on both ends. Like I said, I want them to be super bought in. I don't want there to be really any doubt. So we talked about setting up a tour, and I just tried to think of like, because I could tell she was nervous when we were talking on the phone first. I always prefer to talk on the phone. So that's just another aside. I try to just be as human as possible. So most people, we're very used to texting and emailing and messaging, but I lead with, give me a call, send me a text message. Here's my number, whatever. It's part of trying to make people comfortable. And also it's hard for anyone to represent themselves well through just texting and things like that. So anyway, I make sure we jump on a call, especially to set up a tour. And to just tell how nervous she was. So I was just brainstorming, how can I make this woman comfortable? I don't care how much time it takes. I don't care, what it is, because finding someone that is a great fit on both ends is just really, it's really valuable. There's a very long-term payoff for that.
I want to interject here for a second. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
You're fine.
What a lot of investors that are new, what they don't understand, if you're going to go down this path in this strategy of co-living, it's not about how do I jack up 7 people in a house to pay.
Right. And charge them as much as possible.
The real payoff is how long do they stay?
Yes. That has been a journey of understanding that, as a newbie, that's just absolutely not what I thought to be true. So that's been an interesting realization. And that's absolutely number one.
So how did you pivot your business? Because your journey is one that everybody's going to go through. Because
I don't think mine's super unique.
No, it's so like, I have so much anxiety. I paid so much for this asset. I paid so much for this thing. I have a big ass liability called a mortgage and utilities and platform fees in our world. Okay, now that FOMO, fear of missing out, and FOBO, if you're ever better off, or that fear of not being able to pay my liabilities really plays a part. So
it's
this is
colossal fear. It is like a really colossal fear, honestly.
And it keeps feeding this bucket of like, I got to fill my rooms.
Yeah.
But you have now transitioned from that to, oh, wait a minute. The business isn't actually about just filling rooms with a bunch of randoms. It is about
Yeah, that's a wild change in mindset. I mean, I will have to give you props. I don't think I would have come to that conclusion without you. So,
But
and
that's our community. Our community does that. It's
yeah,
like this is what it looks like down the road.
right.
Your mindset is not prepared for it because you haven't tested it, you haven't felt it, you
No.
haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process. You can't force it because when you have all that pressure and that heavy stress and how heavy all of the everything that you've put in feels without a lot to show for it yet. And even when you're first starting, it feels insane. It feels insane. And you're like, I don't know if I can actually do this. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing it, but I haven't really proven that this is working, this is viable. I had to really, really try to get myself to that point where I was like, yes, I'm doing this. I mean, for me, I just need those actual literal milestones, like, okay, I've got a person in my room. Okay, I've got my house half full. Okay, I've got my house full. Okay, but yeah, trying to get yourself to this calmer, like, all right, let me try to think about my business strategically. Let me think like, yeah, it takes time. You can't be in that like lizard brain fight or flight and also really understand like some of these more nuanced things and grow in how you see the people that are coming in your house.
It's not like it's not normal. Any scenario where when you come into a new thing and you
Yeah.
see somebody who's all zen, and you're up there freaking out, you're like, well, how is
Yeah.
that person
Yeah.
so zen?
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I can never, you just think like that's never gonna be me. That's crazy. Like obviously there's something different about me or there's something wrong with me because there's no way I'm gonna do that. There's no way I'm gonna feel that way or act that way.
I'm laughing because we hold a mastermind call and we have new students come in, and Laura's now one of those people who are like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through it. Like
Ugh,
you have so much empathy for the new people coming inbound, which is amazing, right?
I 'cause it's
That's
wild.
why communities and mentorships, like that's why people don't understand the value of it. But
Yeah.
let's go back to how you transitioned from filling rooms to focusing on keeping the people as long as possible. Because you said something earlier that I just want to point out for new listeners. You can't fill a house 100% unless the other people stay.
Yes.
It's just the physical truths. If the
Yes.
first 6 don't stay, you don't ever get to 100% filled cup.
Yeah. So I'm grateful that I only had to learn, trial by fire a little bit. I did have my first person that moved in that it was a nightmare.
That guy sucked.
And
I know
so,
he stunk.
yeah.
And it wasn't
So,
you, it was him. He wasn't a good fit.
yes, but I was not well equipped enough to know how to figure out if he was a great fit. So, but that happening negatively caused me to really quickly try to learn that. And so so my house was empty again, after my first person did not work out. And then, so I went back to the drawing board a little bit and we had a lot of conversations about, yeah, how do I really do this? Cause I just got really scared by a really terrible person and it scared me to my freaking soul, like, I cannot have people like that. I cannot. That's insane. That's chaos. That's not what I'm doing here. Really spend some time trying to figure out how do I actually accomplish this because it's extremely important. Yeah.
Can I ask, was there a question about knowing your own worth as my house, my business, there's a worth to it and only certain quality humans deserve to get all of the Laura experience. Like that was a experienced learning for me because very similar when I first started, it was like financially spreadsheet driven. Well, I need 7 people to fill this house to make my numbers work.
Yeah.
And then over time I learned, wait a minute, some of these folks don't deserve the value that they're getting for the price that I'm giving. So
absolutely.
can you speak to that?
That's like more of the personal development, I think, aspect, which can be harder to quantify. Yes, absolutely. I did put a lot of work, a lot of thought, a lot of heart into my house, my property, and it's like
I'm laughing because I know all the stories. Laura drove a big ass box truck all over the city of Kansas City, finding the perfect furniture for her house.
Twice, actually. Twice. Okay, because it's 7 rooms. It's a lot of rooms. Okay, it doesn't fit in one 20-foot truck. Okay. I essentially did whatever it took to achieve what I was trying to achieve, and and that's just who I am. But yeah, so there is a bit of an emotional aspect of like, I know these are renters, but like, I would like some people that actually can see what I did here. They can appreciate what I did here, not tear it up for no reason, kind of thing. And yeah, and just realizing that I didn't just work my butt off. Like, I did actually produce something that is better than anything I've seen in my market or the majority of a lot of other markets. And I should be proud of that. Yeah, had to do some work around self-confidence and confidence in what I've built, instead of like that being grateful someone chose my property, which is exactly how I felt at the beginning, to no, there's plenty of people that need this. It's not a scarcity type thing in reality. I actually have a really good product, and I just need to find the right people that, yeah, deserve it, if you will.
Oh,
Yeah.
that understand the value of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference. Like everybody deserves dignity and everybody deserves a wonderful
Right.
place to stay, but some people aren't wired to
Yeah.
fit,
Yeah.
and like we talk about this all the time because, we talk about the systems that we utilize that allow us to do this. But
Yeah.
when somebody goes through and comes through the other end of what they would consider stringent screening or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
there's a value that people place on that. Oh, I qualified for this.
Mhm.
My members in my house and my tenants talk to each other about, oh, you got through that too. So like I call that the country club model, right?
Yeah.
If you get approved to come through, all of you have earned that status.
Right.
So there's an elevation for knowing that not everybody got in and that they qualified for it. And then that's how I personally make that transition in the mentality from price to value.
Yeah.
It starts with little simple things like that.
Absolutely.
And like once they're in, then they get away from the weekly price concept.
Right.
And now they're talking about the value ideas. Yeah. And that's what makes I think people stay longer, because they're like, how do you put a price tag on, I made friends here?
Yeah.
I feel supported here.
Yes.
It's quiet and peaceful here. Like,
yes,
it's hard to put a weekly price tag on that.
No, it's a weirdly beautiful thing that I would never have expected in my property. To, when I go by and I see a couple of my house members talking or just enjoying themselves, it's like, wow, I can't believe this is actually real. I actually built this. And when I get to have lovely conversations with them, and then when some of my members talk to me about some of the other members, it's always positive. It's always really lovely. My first person moving out, I had 3 of my house members message me, oh my gosh, who's moving out? And when I told them, they're like, no, I love her. I'm like, yeah. Oh my gosh, it just like makes my life.
Yeah. And the thing that's really interesting, one of the benefits of that is you are a real estate investor as well. And I know that we are in the midst of looking for your second property. Yeah. So I'm going to put this caveat out there for anybody who watches this. If you have a friend or a family member or a coworker who wants to give themselves, I think we did the math. If you're paying $1,600 a month in rent, or I'm sorry, $1,300 a month in rent, and then you have to pay $300 a month in utilities, it's $1,600 and fees. And now all of a sudden, you find Laura's product in Kansas City, or you find my product in Atlanta, or you find some of our friends' products in Jacksonville or in Dallas, or whatever markets that you're in Baltimore. If you're saving from $1,600 to $900 or $800, so that's $600 to $800 a month in savings. Every single times month. 12, that's almost a $10,000. That's $9,600. That's $10,000 raise after taxes. Yeah. Amazing things happen. Yeah. With an extra $10,000. Yeah. That's the differential.
And those numbers are literally exact. Maybe you remembered. I told you those numbers.
Your numbers. Yeah.
My latest house member was applying for an apartment, and those were her numbers. And
as a teacher that's making 40 grand a year.
I was like, it just breaks my heart. I don't know how that works. And that's just terrible. That what options do you have? And so, yeah, it made my life that she likes my house. And
how many teachers in Kansas City or all over the country love what they do? They love the kids. They love the teaching. Our society sucks in that way, that
I know.
We pay so little to people doing 8.5 hours, 10 hours of watching your kids. So I'm not going to even talk about that, but you get paid $45,000 a year, and after taxes, it is what it is. And then you're now having to spend $1,600 a month for housing that you don't even like.
Right. If we're going to pay teachers low, why don't we at least give them some sort of housing subsidy or something? Like, come on, you know?
But we do. They
We
just
do,
don't
but
know about it.
I just
That's
mean,
why I'm doing this series
we're
because
private
right,
solutions to that,
right.
but
But it starts with private. Like, it
sure,
starts with it, right? And that's
sure.
why it's a win-win, and that's why I love having this series because I've got, a lot of CNAs, certified nursing assistants. I've got people that work in hospitality behind bars. I've got a young lady that works in, retail and supermarkets.
Yeah.
All of these industries, hundreds of thousands, millions of employees in that
Yeah.
realm, they do not know our option even exists.
No.
And that's why this is so important. Like, I don't have a budget to go put on TV and news. Neither do you.
No.
But you know what? Together we have social media. So the
Yeah.
more people that understand and see this, and they're going to see your link in the descriptions. If you're in Kansas City, there's going to be a wait list because Laura's houses are filled. But sign up
House
and
is taken.
get on her wait list because she's in the middle of acquiring another property. And if this is a fit for you, sign up for the wait list because she would love to house you if it makes sense for both of you. And like that's the whole purpose is like you have a need, we have a product, that joint idea, everybody wins. If you're a scammer, if you're this, like don't get on the wait list. Right?
No,
Like cuz
not gonna happen.
no, because every
Yeah.
one person that's a poopy head, it ruins the community for everybody else. That's the thing that people don't understand what we're trying to get here. We try to protect the 5, 6 other people in the house with every new person
Absolutely.
coming in and
I'm
out.
like a mama bear, if you will. Like,
Yeah.
these people are my responsibility, and I try
To
to, 'cause yeah,
provide safe, affordable,
yes.
peaceful, and that's it,
Yes,
you
yes. I
know?
mean, I can't control everything, but it is my job to do what I can to make sure they are safe
Yeah.
and they are in a comfortable environment where they're not being, I don't know, harassed in some sort of way or imposed upon in some major way by other people.
Yeah.
That feels like that's at least how I treat it. Yeah.
One of the things that we always talk, what are the extra things
Yeah.
that we provide? So I'll throw this out there. We are
Like
real estate
literal
investors.
things.
Yeah. So we are no, like we are real estate investors.
Right.
So we know how to buy houses.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I talk about with all of my members, if you were to stay in my house and save $10,000 at the end of the year, guess what you could afford?
A house. And I'd love to help you buy one.
Right.
How cool is that? We need
So
more people buying houses,
right. Like this is the difference between your network is your net worth. And the people that are in my houses are like, dude, I never thought I would get that with
Mhm.
housing. I thought I was
Yeah.
just getting rent and a place to live. I'm like, no, man. Like I told you in the beginning, my Rolodex becomes your Rolodex. If we're in different socioeconomic levels, so be it. Like you need to level up.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and like that's the stuff that I don't think people take into account. They're like, I provide a
No,
house.
because it's not common. It's
Yeah.
unprecedented. It's not been a thing. It's not something we're taught or even told about. I absolutely position my house as a stepping stone for
That's it.
people,
That's
a
it.
building block. I want to be a building block to your best life.
Yeah.
I absolutely do. And that might be a little corny and like, oh my God, that's silly. You're a real estate investor or whatever. It's like, yeah, but I'm actually building relationships with these people that
Mhm.
I don't know how it's going to benefit both of us, but it will. It absolutely will, because this is a very human business. And the benefits that I've already seen are nothing that I could have ever dreamed of or predicted.
Yeah,
So
it's wild.
yeah, you know what? It's like when you give good things, whatever you want to call it, karma, you get good things,
Yeah.
not 100% of the time, but like there's a crazy correlation. Okay. Investing in other people, you get so much back. My house is a building block.
Do you find skepticism that you have to
Yes.
overcome with your customers? Like
Yeah.
they come into my house and they're like, whatever, bro, whatever, dude.
They're like, where's
Where's the
the,
catch? Where's the
yeah,
catch? Yeah.
yeah, let me find the thing that makes this
No,
too
like
good to, yeah.
it's a default setting that
Yeah.
so many customers have is like, I know you're out to get me. And I know
But I
that
get
there's
it
no free
because
lunch.
that is the world that we live in a lot of the time. You're
Yeah.
trying you are trying to get taken advantage, not trying. People are trying to, and companies and all of this. We live in like a bit of a dog eat dog,
Yeah.
society. And so, yeah, you like got to stay on your game. Otherwise, you might get taken advantage of or lose a lot of money or pay for something that like, you can't really afford or whatever. Like you have to stay vigilant. So it puts you in that mindset. And I would 100% get it. I'm always like, I get it. I get it. You know what? If you find something that you don't like, just tell me, you know? I promise it's not going to be anything big because I've
Yeah.
gone through all that. But if you find something, that's fine. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. But no, the other shoe's not going to drop. It's just not. That's a foreign concept for a lot of people, especially low income people. They don't have the shoe always drops.
Yes. So
Yeah.
then, like, I explained this to my sister, who she's a physician and she's like a public health person. And I'm trying to convince her to buy real estate. And she's like, I've got enough of a pain in the ass in my own job. Like, I don't want any, like, I want to go to work. I want to do my thing. I want to go home. And I was like, got it. She
Lots
doesn't
of
have
people
an
are like that. Yeah.
doesn't have an entrepreneurial bone in her body, but she's
No,
a giver and a server, and she's
absolutely.
got the greatest heart ever.
Those people are amazing.
The thing about it is, and when she talks about with new patients, she's like, I have to overcome it by just being consistent. And
Oh,
I take that lesson
no.
from her, is that like, we are just consistent
Well,
in
yeah,
what
you
we
can't
do.
just talk the talk. Like,
Yes.
I am the same way. You can tell me something. I'm not actually going to 100% believe you unless I see it.
Yeah.
I'm that way. I've been burned in my life, you know, like
Yeah.
100%. I've been through things that, you know, I thought were one thing. They turned out to be the other thing. I do get it. You got to show them. You do have to show them.
There's a
And
saying, you no longer get to tell me, you have to show me.
1000%. That's how
Yeah.
I live my life.
Yeah.
And I understand that a lot of people are that way as well.
It's actually interesting. It's shorter per tenant that comes in when there's more tenants in the house. Meaning that, like, that drinking the Kool-Aid part of like, oh, that's really how you guys move. Like, they have to, I call it, you have to be in there long enough for it to wash over you
Yeah.
that it's real.
Yeah, because at first they have to get comfortable. I mean, it's like any new space, but especially this concept. They have to spend some time letting it get normalized. Absolutely.
Because the standard of what people associate with housing isn't this experience.
No.
This is a brand new experience for most
Right.
Americans. Like, if you're European or you're
Almost all.
in Asia, much more normal. Hostel
Absolutely.
living, community living,
Right.
much more normal.
Yeah, they're very open-minded.
But in America, it's like, why would I ever live with 6 or 7 other people?
Yeah. I mean,
Because your rent isn't
individualism is like our bread and butter in this country. We don't have to get into a whole philosophical conversation about why that is, but you know, have your own stuff, buy everything on your own, and don't rely on anyone. And consumerism. And
No, that's real. We have to go against the grain.
Yeah.
On so many things. And I think that actually is a positive in our light, because it does allow us to stand out so much, even in our own marketplace.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
differentiator between what I am marketing and trying to attract is so different
Yeah.
than what 95% of the people are trying to attract. They're like, oh, my room is cheap. Cool.
Right.
My room is expensive relative to that guy's room.
Relatively. Yeah, not expensive.
My room is
No,
206. That person's room is 265.
Yeah.
I have to work twice as hard to overcome the mentality of $40 a week.
Right.
Why would I pay you $40 a week? I literally want to respond, because I give a shit about you. But it's hard for me to market that
But
way.
you can't say it like that. Yeah.
Right,
You gotta
because
like
how
show
do
them
I-
that you give a shit about them. Yeah.
How do we tell people
Yeah.
about the experience? So, like, let's go into that. Let's go tactically, because there's going to be hosts that watch this and they're like, that sounds really good, but how do you do it?
Absolutely.
So, high level hospitality as a strategy.
Yep.
Can we drop a couple nuggets of tactics so
Yeah.
that people can try to implement it?
So are we talking like on the front end when I'm
What are your go-tos? What's the Laura Selden sauce?
okay?
What's your shopping?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different aspects of that. There's, you know, what I do when someone's just inquiring and we're trying to see if it's a fit. You know, like I said, I do tours in person. Okay.
Huge, by the way.
I'm there with them. And with this last woman that I was talking about, I had the opportunity to take her to coffee before we went to the tour, which might sound insane to people, but I had a lovely time and she got to know me. And we also didn't walk into the house not having had a conversation in person yet. And especially with her being so, you know, nervous about it, we're calm. We're much more calm. You know, we already have a rapport built. Anyway, so yeah. Also, I picked her up from work. She doesn't drive a car. I didn't want her to have to take the bus to my house to see it for the first time. I picked her up. We got coffee. We went to the tour, and I drove her home. Also, so just like, things I provide in my house, I provide a lot of supplies that maybe other people don't, but I like to position it as it's a financial thing as well, but it's also a hospitality thing. So like all these little things that no one enjoys buying, they can take that off of their list for the week for
Yeah.
groceries or whatever you want to call it, all the paper goods and soaps and things like that I provide. We also have
But you're not doing it at a loss. You're still a
no,
business owner.
yeah, it's not that bad. It's really
It's
not.
embedded into the cost.
Yeah,
It's a line item.
right. I personally shop. I buy my stuff at Costco. I know some people just do like the order Amazon thing, whatever, but I
Yeah.
buy in bulk at Costco. That's how I like
Yep.
it. And it's an excuse for me to go to my house. I like to go to my house every few weeks. Anyway, it's an excuse for me to be there and restock and check in on things.
Okay.
Also, there's random things. We have I have a house chocolate jar that I refill every time I'm there. They eat it in like one day, okay? But it's just a really small thing that like I don't know, everyone really loves. And
It's the DoubleTree cookies.
yeah, that's my thing. It's like, yeah, this is the chocolate jar house,
Right. As stupid as that may sound,
Yeah.
your next referral will sound something like, oh, and there's a jar of chocolates.
Yeah. And they're not cheap chocolates either, okay? There are the Hershey nuggets that everyone really seems to
Oh,
really
the
like.
big, I like the
Big
gold ones
cute.
that have the little nougat in the middle with the nut.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know
I get
those.
those at for a good deal at Costco. Yeah, I could get a lot cheaper chocolate, but no, thank you. Those are the first ones I can think of off the top of my head. But making people feel like they can live in a home, but not like have all the responsibilities of living in a home as well. The
Yeah.
lawn care and the cleaners once a month. Like these are just things that make people feel a little taken care of, if you will. And just creating that intangible environment of like, you can talk to me, if you need something, you can talk to me. If something's going on, you can talk to me. I don't want there to be a stressful barrier in between us. I want you to feel like I genuinely am wanting to make sure that everything's a positive experience for you. And let's just talk about it,
That's amazing. So your portfolio will expand. This
Mhm.
concept of hospitality will continue to evolve. There's
Yeah.
a baseline.
Yeah.
Any future plans? What's aspirational for you in the, co-living KC?
Yeah. Just a bunch of units that I can provide for people and feel like I've actually made a dent in affordable housing. That would be incredible. So yeah, I don't know, 100 houses where I do this or some other like, format, where I'm providing a bunch of units for people that are beautiful, that are nice, that they can afford. It's a dream. I just as many as I can get and in whatever way I can accomplish that. Yeah.
I have a dream. I have a vision.
Yeah.
That building community and belonging
Yeah.
to something is bigger than yourself. I think a lot of humans, like post-COVID, we miss it. I miss it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I miss connecting with people.
Right. I think it works in our favor because people are starting to talk about that, and they have been talking about that, and I've seen that a lot more.
Pickleball. We want to run pickleball competitions between houses.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just the concept of pickleball.
No,
Picking,
like
getting so
I'm
popular.
looking for different ways to have people.
Oh, that's
like,
nice.
who talks about playing pickleball because where they live? We do.
Right.
So like I've got visions of like
I love that.
T-shirts with the name on the back of the house, like you belong to.
For teams? That's
Because
so
if I
That's
can,
so cute. I love
can-
how you're always brainstorming cool
if
stuff.
I can artificially make you part of a we,
Yeah.
then what I'm trying to achieve is I will curb my behavior for the we because if I keep going and put myself me first, then it disrupts the we.
Yeah.
But like because people in shared housing, they have to have empathy and patience,
Yeah.
and those are like hard to come by.
Yeah.
7 people want to do laundry. I want to do laundry at 11 o'clock. Like, well, you gotta grow up, man. Like, figure out the scheduling and talk to the people that are there. This lady's putting too much food in the freezer. Blah, blah, blah. Like, have you spoken to her?
Right.
Like
Usually they
this
haven't.
is
I've had
right.
those conversations
Exactly.
too. Look, can
So
you
when
please just talk to her about it? Let's just be nice. Can you be nice? Make sure you're nice. Just talk about it.
When you create the we,
Yeah.
a lot of people self-solve a lot of the stupid stuff.
Yeah, because also I don't want to insert myself and then you're
Mhm.
stuck there as well. That's not healthy for the house, and that's not
No.
healthy for me. I don't live there. I cannot be mediating little things.
Yeah.
We have to. I know this is probably foreign for a lot of people, especially since COVID and things like that. But we just got to talk to strangers sometimes, and then maybe they're not going to be strangers at some point.
All right. Give me something that you do that nobody else does.
Oh gosh, in what way?
I'll give you an example.
My brain's like, what? What do you mean?
I started a new thing. I do a welcome kit in the room. So like I provide all the linens and I provide like a shower caddy if it's a shared bathroom. I provide towels.
Yeah, me too.
The intention of it is I want you to be able to move in and go to sleep that night.
Yeah.
I've heard too many stories where they don't read, the member doesn't come in because they don't know what co-living is. So they come in and it's a barren mattress with a mattress cover.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, wait a minute, what are you sleeping on the first night?
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
I
Riff.
do that as well, but I do provide linens. I provide a set of towels. I also provide, the shower caddy thing, but I fill the shower caddy with a few little things that I think just might help their experience. Most people, and I have like air fresheners throughout the house. I make sure they get a bunch of refills.
Yeah.
I also put a set of extra batteries. This is a random thing, but like our electronic door locks, it can go out randomly. When I first started, I was just putting a bunch of extra batteries like in the entry console table. And so I'd have to tell them, go get 8 batteries. No, I now put 8 batteries. That's how many each of these doors use.
Yeah.
I put 8 batteries in their little tote because it has a bunch of pockets. I also put some earplugs, and I write a welcome note as well, and I kind of write why really quick I gave them these things, not just, I don't just put it in there. I'm not giving you earplugs because my house is loud. Just if you ever need some extra quiet, and you want like zero noise. I love earplugs personally. I have a thing about sound sometimes. So yeah, I have a Keurig in my house, so I give them a couple K-cups just to get them started. That's all I can remember right now. But yeah, and then I write my welcome note. I tell them I'm super, super grateful to have them there, and why I gave them, these little extras, because
love it.
I put some.
So you and I use the same electronic door locks.
Yeah.
What I have found is super necessary is I have provided an extension cord and a C charger, and I label it for the house, because if you ever get locked out of the damn room, in the very top, you can put a C charger in.
Did not know that.
If the batteries go dead, you can plug in the C charger and then put your code in, because you can't change the battery unless you're in the room.
Right.
So then I'd have like members like using
my backup
a knife.
Now was just the physical keys. So I have those in my owner's closet. And
yep, we have that.
In an emergency, I would, give them access to that. But I like that. I do.
Yeah. So because then it just keeps it to them. So I keep it in the pantry. There's a C charger and extension cord.
My Amazon cart right
because
now.
It's so easy. Like somebody always tries to take this. It's the type of charger for your thing. Like it's this charger, right?
Was there some sort of battery pack or something?
I just put an extension cord so they can have like a phone
extension cord to plug into the wall.
Yeah.
I was thinking some sort of portable battery.
No, I tried the portable one and I was just like, someone always ends up stealing it. But an extension cord and the C charger.
Okay.
And then that way they can go ahead and plug in. And then most of the time
together, I was like, okay.
If they can't find it, they'll ask somebody.
I'll get one. Yeah.
It's an easy one, but just let them know if you ever get locked out because the battery's died.
Yeah.
It's easy to just put a phone charger in there and then it'll work. Because then I'm like, why are you guys shimmying the door? Now I got to repair the door. I
have not had that happen yet, thankfully.
Yeah. So. It's like, oh, they're locked out. And I was like, oh my God, I got to send a handyman down there to break in. And I'm like, wait a minute, plug in the charger. And then it just like,
I just make sure I check to see when the batteries are low and I let them know. I'm sure someday I might miss one and it actually get dead, but we'll see. So.
Here's a new $10 suggestion.
Yeah, so, I love new $10 suggestions.
Right. So move-ins are coming. I leave, like whenever I turn the room, I'll actually write a handwritten welcome and thank you note. Yeah. Just on a regular card. Now I put a cup, Walmart, $8, right? Oh. But I stole this from the Airbnb guys. My wife gives 5-star reviews if anybody leaves a $9 bottle of wine. So I'm like, babe, like if we go to a liquor store, we would never even buy that bottle of wine. It was so sweet. I'm like, oh, okay. And this is where the psychology of being an investor and a operator versus like, I'm entitled to this business. As we're making a move toward ratings being so popular and so instrumental, just make sure you put in there. And it's a quid pro quo. It's like, hey, make sure that we strive for 5s on our review. It helps my business.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I get a whole bunch of fives. And then it's a pusher to fill out the survey review because it helps our business,
Yeah.
you
So you have
know?
you also mentioned the review
Hmm.
in your
Yeah,
welcome.
like, nothing's free, baby. You know what I mean? Like the cup comes with a 5 star, but no, but you just put it
Okay.
in there and be like, hey, this is the level of service that we want to provide. This is
Yeah.
the experience that we want to provide. Nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
Do us a solid, give us a great review if you've had one, because
Yeah.
our job is to earn your 5 star review.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, you did earn a 5 star review. Let me just give it to you. And then it's like now you're kind of tied into it. It's like so silly, but so much of what we do is like consumer psychology.
Yeah.
Again, the fact that like the reservations of some of our customers, most people don't because they just don't interact with customers in our
Sure.
socioeconomic demographic.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a new thing for a lot of new people. And I'm like,
Yeah.
let me tell you what works.
Right.
You can riff off of it and you can do your own version of it.
Yeah, it's like if you added together, an Airbnb host plus a long-term renter investor and then plus a bunch of new stuff all added together.
I agree. We're the golden doodles.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be in co-living, welcome to becoming a golden doodle. We're trying to take the best of Airbnb poodles and the
Yeah.
best of long-term
New. I
golden
mean,
retrievers, and we make
yeah,
golden doodles out of it.
right. I mean, like people that do Airbnb well, they normalize talking about all the perks and things like that, We just have a different brand and yeah,
Yeah.
it's more, but more stuff, but like that should be normalized that it's not just a room we're
Is it
providing.
getting easier for you, Laura?
In every way, yes, but which way are you
Just I'm
specifically
curious because like
asking about?
the more you do it, the more it becomes normalized.
Yeah, I felt like an imposter. I mean, I guess you always do when you're starting something new and I just come by that easily, I think. Um but yeah, I think I self-identify as these things now and it feels more natural in almost every way, which is it's been an amazing journey for me in that way.
Right. I've known you for about a year. I'm coming up on about a
Yeah, almost a
year
year now.
of
Yeah.
knowing you. And
Yeah.
the biggest growth in you is that I'll just tell you from the outside looking in,
Mm,
you really adopted the FitFo thing.
thanks.
Like, if for those who don't know what FitFo is, it's Laura.
Figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
I mean, I have always been that way, but having to figure out how to apply it, here. It's still new,
Right.
just because I'm good at something before, when I have to apply it in a completely new way, like it takes some time.
And it's a total mindset change for you
Yeah,
where you're just like, look, in my old life, I could figure out everything. I was just good
yeah,
at it and comfortable.
yeah,
This is brand new waters.
yeah.
Right. And
Mhm.
you're coming across something every day punches you in the face and you're like,
Yeah,
ow, I'm just going to
yeah.
keep moving through it.
And you gotta get back up, get
Yeah.
back up. Just like keep getting back up because yeah, there were days, many, many days where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I see these other people. I don't know if I can get there. And you just keep going. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other, honestly. And it's worth it. It's worth it. Especially if you are bought in, like if you are all into this. If you're not, maybe it's not worth it. I don't know. I just know for me, yeah, 100% worth it if you just keep putting that one foot in front of the other, focus on what you're trying to achieve and, worry about the details later.
Okay. Last thing. When you first started, did you think you were going to be a hospitality focused investor?
I honestly didn't even know hospitality was really a part of this.
Yes. So
So
true. It's so true.
I
It's a
would
late.
say no. No, I'm also, I mean, I'm everyone's a lot of different people, but like especially in my previous life, I was in analytics my whole career and I'm very used to things that are, more black and white and like things making a lot of sense in terms of like A plus B equals C and things like that. And so yeah, when I first came into the business, like my highly analytical money, financial focused brain was like, all right, we've got the money, we've got this aspect of the operation. So it's operations and it's here's how the money works and here's how the acquisition works. Okay, cool. That's what we got. And then no there's this whole other concept that's just not quite so straightforward, that you kind of have to have your own journey with.
Yeah. So when you look at the future, because you're still building your business,
Oh yeah, I am still in the ground floor.
Are you going to stay in that upper tier
Yeah,
hospitality version of
absolutely.
it?
That's
Why?
non-negotiable for
Give
me.
me the strategy reason why you've chosen that strategy.
At the end of the day, so I have a lot of obviously, I have a lot of, like, heart reasons and I'm passionate about it, but also at the end of the day, just from a business owner perspective, more and more people are getting into this every single day. And I want to make sure I'm providing something better than anyone else. If in 4 years or 3 year, 5 year, I don't know, there's a lot of options for people in this space. I can see that happening. I want to still be the best option or one of the best options. So I want to future proof my business, as well as just now that I'm doing it this way, I just don't want to do it any other way. But also from a financial strategic standpoint, like I want to future proof it and make sure that whoever comes into the space, I'm still proud of what I have. I don't need to go back to the drawing board or go backwards and try to redo, I don't know, the way I do things because it's not good enough or people are choosing other options because they're better.
I agree with you 100%. And that's why I spend so much time focused around the hospitality.
Yeah.
It's harder.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not harder once you get systems. It just becomes a
Right.
new norm. Right.
Yeah. Also, you can normalize anything, I spent
Mhm.
6 hours with my, and I probably won't do that with every single person. This was just a unique case, but I'm fine with that. Honestly, this person is going to stay maybe a year plus, could be longer. That's where 6 hours. That's okay. That's not a big deal for me.
Well,
I'm going to keep doing it.
I think that's a marketing. I
Yeah.
think that is a brand development
Yeah.
because that person works with 100 teachers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I view that all the time. Like what
And the
you did
person that
with
referred
her,
her is a firefighter, and
and she's going to go back and tell her,
building connections. Yeah.
right?
Building connections.
She's going to go back and tell her, like, thank you for introducing me to Laura.
Yeah.
Listen to this, right? And it's like the
And my
same.
firefighter gets a referral fee, which is always, gets them some extra buy-in to oh, yeah, I'm gonna keep talking about this. I'm gonna keep doing this. But
And in our business, everybody, they don't talk about it enough. It is a demand-driven business.
yeah.
If I can find ways to source good demand, meaning good tenant base,
Yeah.
I can speed up and go find more supply. That's up to me.
That was that I did not understand at the beginning either. You can't just get the product ready.
Right.
You're gonna sit there and be like, oh no, the people are not coming.
No,
this
is
you
not
build it,
they will come. No, it's not. It's not. You better have an idea of what your business is going to look like.
I watched that movie so many times when I was young, so that just came to my brain. But
it's so
Field of Dreams,
true.
guys, that's a good movie. Yeah. So having to realize oh my gosh, I have to actually start a machine of figuring out how people find me, things like that.
Yeah.
But now that I'm doing it, it's not that big of a deal, But
it's normalized.
At the front end, it was like, oh no, I'm figuring out the product, I'm getting it ready. I feel great about that, but oh my God, who's gonna live there? Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I love your journey. I think so many people, they're just misled, or I'm not throwing shade at anybody because it's real. This is the normal experience.
I think it's okay to throw shade though, if you have shade to throw. That's
no, this is the experience that unfortunately a lot of people have. And this is why having mentors always shortcuts things.
Yeah.
Being around people.
I will talk about you till the end, of time, because I am a extremely resourceful person. I'm a proactive person, but I still was sitting on the sidelines because I didn't feel like I had enough confidence, even though I had learned everything that I could tangibly get my hands on to learn, literally, like a freaking crazy person. What else can I learn? Nothing. I've learned everything I can learn through a course or a video or whatever. It's done. A book. I've did all of them. Yeah. But being able to talk to you, because everyone's situation is actually quite unique. Conceptually, you might be having a similar experience as someone else, but there's so many factors in this business that being able to have a human person that just listens to you and your situation and actually cares to understand and helps you figure out for your specific situation, what is the best choices and path for you. Not to do the work for you, but even just to sound check against, even
there it is.
This is what I'm gonna do. Can I get your approval, or should I do something different?
Can you just confirm that I'm not making a big mistake?
Correct.
That's it. And it's the things that you would say, or and I'm finding it with new investors coming inbound is Jose, you know Jose and Christina
Yeah,
out of
love those
Baltimore.
guys.
My man has researched, like he is his own Claude and ChatGPT. Like he knows
Right?
everything.
So
So
that tells me that, yeah,
we're
he's
underwriting a deal yesterday.
not comfortable enough to get off the sidelines. So he spent all the extra time. I only know this because I've been there. Doing all these things, building an AI chatbot of your own or whatever, because you're not ready to get off the sidelines, and you think that that's going to unlock you getting ready or something, you know?
He literally, we underwrote a deal yesterday. I'm like, Jose, I don't know how to tell you this. If you don't buy that deal, if your numbers are real, and you don't buy that deal, don't get mad if I do, because like every number that we've discussed and every checkbox that we've discussed, that deal works. So
we gotta go. We gotta get in the game. We have got
crap
to
or get off the pot, brother. You know?
I know, but why? I'm sure there's reasons why, but like the freaking chasm between, you know, you've learned everything, but purchasing the first property, there is such a deep chasm between those. For some reason, I mean, it's emotional, it's financial, it's all these things. It's deep. So honestly, yeah, having you to build that bridge across the chasm.
I did the same thing. Why do you think I love Franco? Why do you think I love Franco so much? Like I used to call Franco 4 times a day. Bro,
there you go. Yeah.
Bro, look at this number. Look at this number. He's like, Q, the number's not going to change.
Right.
He's like, you just need to call them and give them an offer.
Yeah.
And then whatever decisions they make, we'll circle back and then we'll make that next decision. Mm-hmm. He's like, we're so like, this is so human nature. I'm so worried about decisions 3 or 4 steps down the road that I can't make the first one.
Back to this little like scared kid, you know.
It's just new and it's a big number. Like $200,000, a big freaking number.
Yes, it doesn't matter how much money you have or whatever. Like it's a big deal. It is a big freaking deal. Yeah. You know, it just
2, 3, 4 deals down the road. You're like, hey, here's my proof of funds and here's my note. Right. You know, it's like you flippant around $300,000 deals.
You can't get there. You cannot be doing that unless you get off
some calluses. Exactly.
You know. So
I love this discussion because like I can't tell you. I want to put you on a billboard for how many people like no, legitimately, success looks like this. Oh. And like your path is so unique to so many people. It's like I mean, it's not unique. It is so it resonates with so many people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we talk about this all the time. I remember when the light bulb came on for me. I was in all these like real estate conferences, Bigger Pockets, and all these conferences. I'm like, hold on.
All the groups and all the
none of these people are smarter than me.
Oh, I had that realization as well. It's actually
right. They're like, yeah, I've got 25 doors, I've got 50 doors, I've got 100 doors. I'm like,
you know, I don't enjoy thinking that highly of myself, but like I do know my intelligence.
Like, dude, like, you're not an astrophysicist, brother.
No.
You know?
And then like kind of being like, excuse me, why have I not done something about this?
You just started before.
That's kind of rude. That's kind of rude to myself. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. And I will say a plug for, I mean, we talked about it briefly a second ago, but like reaching out to people that you think you might connect with, that you think might have something to, you might have something to learn from, going to the meetups or whatever, going to the conference. I have no, I'm not connected to the conference at all, but that is where I met you. Yeah. I really didn't want to go. Okay. I was so nervous.
Really?
Okay. I'm not a social butterfly. And previously I'd gone to, I went to business conferences and things like that. Terrible. And I genuinely did not necessarily get anything out of it, That's great. Oh my God, how much I got out of this one. It was completely different.
I loved it.
I did love it. Yeah. Okay. Even my like terrified imposter syndrome, scared self. And I met you, I met other people, and I just started to try to get myself out of my comfort zone. It's why I'm here today, 1000%. So I would say that's a really important piece for new people as well. I wouldn't have found you. It changed my life.
You put yourself in that room though.
I did. I will say that. I did.
And you sat next to me on the bus. You're like, sit down. We're going to talk about this.
Well, I don't think it was that. No, I'm pretty sure because I remember very clearly. I was like, just say hello to the person next to you. Okay. I don't know this person. just talk to them. Okay. Yeah. I hyped myself up for, it felt like an hour.
Seriously?
And then I finally, yes. Okay.
Because you turned to me and you were just like, hey, what's up? Tell me about your story.
Right. Right, because believe me, I rehearsed what I should say to this stranger.
Stop.
Yes, I'm serious, okay? I flew all the way to Denver. I'm with all these people. It was overwhelming, overstimulating. And I hadn't bought a property, so I felt like a very small fish, and I'm like, why does this person even want, why would this person even talk to me? Why would they spend any time on me? But
Oh my God.
I just did some hyping up of myself, and I was like, you got to just start conversations. Just talk to this person. And I figured out what to say to you, and I said it, and we went from there. And it was amazing. Okay. So yeah, you have to put yourself out there, and it's
in 1 year, your life changed significantly. Yeah.
My life changed the most positively it ever has. Ever has.
Yeah.
My life has changed dramatically negatively before, for sure. But this is the most change positively I've ever had in my life, for myself, just for me. And it's not that it's been easy. It has been freaking hard.
Yeah.
Freaking hard. All right. But
you survived. My parents used to tell me, but did you die?
I know. It's like, watch more.
No, I didn't.
You're
but
right.
It sucked.
I didn't die, did I? No, but thank you.
No, but that's the perspective. I look back on in the beginning. I was like, oh my God, it was so hard to get started.
That really was.
Roll,
I'm not gonna lie.
Like that first inertia, the hardest thing is getting off of zero. So pushing the boulder,
rolling a boulder. Yeah. Oh my God.
That first inertia is always the hardest. And now all of a sudden, you look around, there's 3 or 4 people pushing the boulder with you.
Yes, you start having people you can relate with and things like this. And it's like, yeah, I think it's really helpful to make sure everyone knows, yes, it's normal. It's so normal. Please, don't feel weird, for this being insanely hard. It has to be. Incredible things are not built easily. True. It sucks, but it's just true. You want something to build something great. You're gonna go through a lot, but you learn so much. God, I've grown so much. You get so many opportunities if you want to take them to be a better person, better version of yourself, whoever you want to be. This journey helps. It just does.
And this is why hospitality exists.
Yeah.
Because people have empathy of how their journey was.
Yeah.
And they apply it to this thing. It works. Circling back to it, I love what you're doing in Kansas City. You're adding something that doesn't exist. That's why there's a market for us.
Yeah.
Right. And you're doing it intentionally. You're curating an experience. If you are listening to this and you have friends and you have connections, because all of us do.
Yeah.
Somebody needs safe, affordable housing in a community, because safe, affordable housing exists. Yeah. Not everybody has community.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that's our differentiator. That's the beauty of it. And I'm such a big believer in the conviction of what we provide is more than just a house. And you're right. You should be graduating out of our houses into the next stage of your life.
Absolutely.
That's a success.
I want you to win. Absolutely. Yeah. I love that for you. I really do. Yeah. I'm not trying to keep you in my house forever. No. I would love if you stayed a year. That'd be amazing. Mutually beneficial. You don't want to be, I tell my people, in order for you to focus on all these other areas of your life, you can't be moving 6 months. How long does it take you to get settled somewhere? You need to stay at least a year. I'm not telling you, I'm not going to make you stay. I'm just saying for your benefit, I want you to focus on these other areas of your life. Things take time. These things take time to build. Okay. I've been there myself. I just want you to know that you have a place here as long as you want. If you can find, if this ends up being calm and safe and comfortable for you, I want you to build something amazing for yourself, whether that's just your social life or, buying a house or just regulating your freaking nervous system and going to therapy or something. I don't know, whatever it is, or, getting a better job, going to school. Oh my gosh, I have so many hustlers in my house going to school and working and all this shit. Sorry, my language. But I want you to get to whatever next thing you're trying to do. I absolutely do. I want to be a support for that.
Laura, you're dope. You're such a dope host. Yeah. I love you to death. I'll talk to you later. Thank you for being you. All right.
Bye.
Bye, bud.